Hello there. Thank you so much for joining us. This is News Channel Nebraska. My name's Eric McKay. Let's take a look at our top headlines today. Some Americans this week might be rushing out to buy cars before potential price hikes from auto tariffs are set to start Thursday. But Wednesday could be an even bigger day for U.S. trade. That's when the president says he'll unveil reciprocal tariffs. As Amy Kiley reports, a few of his comments Sunday suggest those could be even broader than predicted.
You'd start with all countries.
President Donald Trump now says reciprocal tariffs he plans to unveil Wednesday are on the table for all nations. That's after the Treasury Secretary told Fox Business earlier this month the focus was on those with the largest trade deficits. Trump also now says any deal related to the duties will come after they begin.
The tariffs will be far more generous than those countries were to us.
Meanwhile, 25% tariffs on imported vehicles are scheduled to start Thursday. Duties on parts are set to follow.
Most likely prices are going to go up by a few $1,000s at least, but it would vary from brand to brand and maybe even from model to model.
Trump says he, quote, couldn't care less if car prices rise so long as more manufacturing comes to the U.S. Analysts say a major supply chain shift would take years. In the meantime, U.S. companies would have to pay the tariffs. Economists say that likely would raise prices for consumers.
You can't overrule the laws of economics with an executive order any more than you can overrule the laws of gravity.
Experts say those laws of economics apply to more than just cars. They predict Trump's other tariffs also will raise prices and lower demand.
When you combine that lesser demand with what we're seeing in the decline of consumer investor confidence, you could well see a slowing of the economy.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Nebraska farm leaders, meanwhile, asking the Trump administration and the European Union to de-escalate the trade war that's developing over tariffs. The National Farmers Union teamed up with an EU ag group to send a joint letter to President Donald Trump and European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen, telling them farmers on both sides of the Atlantic are vulnerable to tariffs, which they say would reduce markets for their crops. While there is talk of tariffs on lots of imported products, the Nebraska Farmers Union says it's America's Midwest farmers who are the most vulnerable in a tit-for-tat trade war.
Ag's nose bleeds first, it bleeds worst, and in a lot of cases it bleeds longest.
As one of the top exporting states in the country, Hansen says tariffs could be especially bad for Nebraska farmers.
Whether it's our soybeans or our pork, we have a lot of commodities that we grow in great efficiency and great productivity in our state that obviously need export markets.
In an interview with CNN's The Lead over the weekend, U.S. Representative Mike Flood said his hope is that the tariffs will not be in place for long and will result in positives for Nebraska farmers.
We have a president that's engaged. We have a president that's getting the attention of these neighbors that have, in some cases, taken advantage of it. And ultimately, it's my hope that this results in expanded trade, breaks down barriers so that we can export more of our great products around the world. Listen, if we don't have world markets for our corn and our beans, our beef, we don't have much to sell outside of that in Nebraska. We're going to be hurting.
The Trump administration scheduled to announce its latest intentions on tariffs on Wednesday. Trump indicated in comments over the weekend the reciprocal tariffs could be more widespread than originally thought. It was National Ag Week last week, and Lutheran High Northeast and Norfolk High School teamed up to host Farm Day over the weekend. The event allowing the public to support students, learn about farm animals, and even reptiles. Hanky Hazelton has more.
It's an opportunity for young kids to basically just make memories and enjoy, being young. And I'm over at the equipment showing kids what a combine and tractor do and the significance of them and how they help with farming.
We have the kids basically rotate around, and while they're at the stations, they learn different facts about the animals and stuff that connects to their daily lives, like gallons of milk that are produced. And I think it's a really good way to connect the kids to agriculture if they don't have that opportunity at home or in their school.
We have, pigs, goats, sheep, horses, and then there's a combine and tractor that they can all see, so they get a mix of everything today.
They also have a few fish, snakes, and a bearded dragon to show kids agriculture isn't just about animals.
Ag is more than that. It's how we get our food, which, yes, is farming, but it's also the ecosystem around our food. So learning about animals and reptiles like that is really important, too.
Students also mentioned some may not understand or ever consider joining the group because they only see animals, but it's far more than one could possibly realize.
It's really not secluded to farming and animals. It pushes you to, gain leadership skills, and it really builds you into a community that you may not have experienced before.
There are so many people that do it, so many people in a lot of different activities, and you can meet so many friends, and I think it's really important that if you have a good experience, you'll maybe do that for a career.
I'd say it's more of like an activity thing, like you'd play football or something like that. It's not like you're going to play football, it's just you had an interest in it when you did, and it may prompt maybe some of my friends, they joined FFA halfway through high school and they never thought they'd want to be a farmer. Now a couple of them are actually starting to farm.
Reporting in Norfolk, Hanky Hazelton, News Channel, Nebraska.
When the next severe weather event happens, don't get caught in the dark. Power your kitchen, HVAC, and communication systems with a Jackery solar-capable generator. Just click on our YouTube affiliate shopping tab and you're on your way. And Husker fans, the Explorer Series is perfect for tailgating.
A northeast Nebraska woman is in jail after a weekend stabbing. Police say 26-year-old Sean Wieneke of Norfolk was arrested Saturday evening. Police say a victim told officers she and Wieneke were in an argument when Wieneke grabbed a knife and attacked the victim, slashing her hand and neck. Wieneke was arrested on felony assault and weapon charges. She's currently being held in the Madison County Jail. It's the type of crime, meanwhile, you might associate with mischievous kids, but authorities say a Norfolk man is in jail after a series of vandalisms. 51-year-old Ralph Books arrested on Sunday. Police say they were investigating a string of vandalisms in February where multiple windows were shot out by a slingshot. That investigation led to Books. He was arrested on a felony criminal mischief charge. Well, it can be hard to find professional athletes that come from western Nebraska. That is, unless you know where to look. Professional bull rider Connor Halverson calls the Cornhusker State home and made his return to Nebraska over the weekend. Jake Bartecki has more.
From western Nebraska to some of the biggest stages and venues in the country, 23-year-old Connor Halverson, a Gordon, Nebraska native, is working his way through the ranks of professional bull riding. And on Saturday night, rode in his home state for the second time in his career at PBR's event here at Pinnacle Bank Arena.
I've always rode calves and sheep, and that's just kind of where I got my start. And I've always grew up watching the PBR and knew that's where I wanted to be someday.
Halverson, an alum of Gordon Rushville, began his rodeoing days at the Sheridan County Fair. He rode through junior high and high school, and when he turned 18, bought his equipment for PBR, and off he went. However, the transition wasn't always a smooth one.
It was pretty rough there at the start, just trying to, get used to the different level of bulls, and it was a little rocky, but, it picked up and, kind of adjusted, and, it can still be rocky at times still to this day, and but for the most part it was good.
Halverson tied for 5th this weekend in Lincoln, but electrified the crowd with an opening ride that scored 82 points. Not only did his fellow Nebraskans show love, but it was one of the rare opportunities that his family could be in attendance.
That makes it even better. They don't get to go to a lot of places that we're able to have our family there, so when they're able to come, it's pretty special.
But come next weekend, as is often the case in the PBR, Nebraska will be in the rearview mirror, and Halverson will be off to another city. He says the sights and experiences he's been able to have from PBR are something he'll always cherish.
It's just more of a blessing that I was able to, get to do it and see all those different places, and like going to Madison Square Garden and from Gordon, that's pretty cool.
In Lincoln, Jake Bartecki, News Channel, Nebraska.
And hundreds of aspiring volleyball stars had a chance to learn from some of the best this past weekend. Brandon Axeman has more from the capital city.
Hello and welcome to the Kinetic Center in Lincoln, Nebraska. Brandon Axman and Veronica Cucci with the 18 and 90 initiative. Exciting times. As you can see, hundreds of volleyball players here at a camp. And Veronica, they're learning from some pretty good people. Can you tell us what is happening right here today in Lincoln, Nebraska?
So today we have about 300 third through 8th grade girls all here for the Nebraska Spring Volleyball Camp with our 13 Husker volleyball athletes coordinating everything. They're running through drills, they're having fun during games. It's a way for our athletes to give back to the community and the girls to learn a few things from them.
Obviously every Husker is a big name, but who do we have teaching these girls? There's one Husker on each court.
Absolutely. We have Becca Alec emceeing the whole event, which is really cool. We have Bergen Riley, Andy Jackson, Harper Murray. We have our new freshmen. We have Carrie Linebaugh, Campbell Flynn, Ryan Hunter, all out here teaching the girls, giving back to their community, and having some fun.
And what are the age ranges that we are seeing here at the camps learning?
So we have 8-year-old through 13, 14 is the maximum. The grades 3rd through 8th grade also attending. That just means drills are switching between courts right now.
And 3 hours of learning from Huskers, which is obviously great, but 1890 is an NIL initiative where this is something that the athletes do to get out into the community. So can you explain a little bit further how this works towards the fulfillment and how 1890 partners with things like this for community events?
Right, so at 1890, we help our student athletes capitalize on their name, image, and likeness. This helps get their name out and give back to the community again. It helps with fulfillment as well, so the presented contracts, they have certain obligations that they have to uphold. This is an annual event that we put on that is a mandatory part of that as well, but the girls are always happy to do it with a smile on their face. They get more gratitude and everything out of it, and they love to just give back as well.
All at this camp today, learning from Huskers. I'm Brandon Axman. That's Veronica Cucci here from Lincoln. We're reporting for News Channel Nebraska.
And you can stay up to date with the very latest by following us online. Head to newschannelnebraska.com. Click on the News tab there. You can also follow us on X, like us on Facebook and Instagram as well. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day. This is News Channel Nebraska.